solid rig. Today we are going to be removing our steps and replacing them with some good old body armor. We've already done one side, so we knew what to do. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what the process on the other side is going to be. This is Providence with Rock Solid Rig. Today we are working on putting the JKU Poison Spyder Brawler Rockers on. Yesterday we took off our Quadratech steps. We also had to take our decals off because unfortunately the decals got covered up by the rockers. So today we're going to install this. We've seen a lot of videos, a lot of different people doing this. We're hoping it's not going to be as technically challenging as some of those videos, giving us the ability to have some protection on our rig so that way when we're out on the trails, we're not going to be getting some of that body damage, especially out on the Rubicon. So you guys come along with us. We're going to get started on this and hopefully get these installed in no time. So for this process, you want to use the 18mm for your wrench. That's what we're using to be able to take these on and off. So in the process of installing this, we did have to take off the body mount bolts that are here. These are going to be reused, so do not get rid of these. We ran into this issue on both sides whenever we were removing this, where you get to a point where either it comes out all the way, no issues, or like the two that we had, this just sits in there and it just continues to spin, you can't get it out. So the solution that we found that worked for both sides is that you want to put pressure on this washer right here while also continuing to try to get the bolt out. By doing so, you're going to get them out. However, you need to be careful. Number one, because whenever you're doing this, if you're laying on your back, this could fall on you. The other thing is too is that there are metal shavings that did come off with this, and so you need to be careful with your hands. It could get into your skin like me, so make sure you're careful. So that's our little tidbit when taking these off of the body, and hope that helps you guys out.
See right here?
Yeah.
Needs to be the same right here. And then all the way down. It needs to be the same. Yeah.
right, so we are on the driver's side installing the other panel. As you can see, we've got the clamps on here. This time around, we were able to figure out how best to put them on. It's recommended, for us at least, to go ahead and remove the plastic bolts that are holding this in, lift it up, so that way you have room to be able to put your clamps. Having one underneath and then on the sides really was beneficial. So we went through and we did this. We pulled up the carpet on the back side. And then as you can see, we went through and instead of marking on them, we just did a center punch. So we're gonna go ahead and just drill onto it. So we'll see how this goes on this side and compare it to the other and let you guys know. So right now we are waiting on this paint to dry so that we can insert our nut bolt. So one of the things that we recommend not doing is going through, and you can see where we did the center punch for our markers. We don't recommend going through and drilling those just yet. So we ran into the issue where when we started to drill into this one, it actually slipped. So when we had it up here, it moved, and so this ended up being out of place, which then shifted all of the other locations out of place, so that if we went to go and drill them, that they were not going to be where they needed to be. So we recommend doing what we did before, which is to drill the front, drill the front. You can see our fan is there. This Texas heat is just absolutely killer right now. Okay, so drill the front, drill the back, paint it. What we did is we ended up using just spray paint and then put it on a brush and then just brush that in. And then that gives us the capability of having our holes rust proof. Now, other people have different ways of doing this. This is just how we did it. But so do the hole in the back, hole in the front, put the slider up here, up to the body, mount these parts here, and then go ahead and drill your other parts that you know where they need to line up. So that would be the recommendation here for that. So we're gonna go ahead and drill in those other holes once we get it all lined up and get these nut bolts inserted, and then see where we are. So we will let you guys know.
Because the first hole on it is only 1/4 of an inch as it sits now. The smallest size on the step bit is also 1/4. The next step up from that is 25/64. So it's really easy to be able to use the step bit so that you can go into the 1/4 inch hole that we've already drilled, and then the next time it drills through the body, it will be a 25/64 hole, which is exactly what we need.
This is something that we recommend getting and using whenever you are drilling your holes. This is not something that's included in the instructions, but it does make things a lot easier for you whenever you are doing this installation on this product. So Poison Spyder does send you this nut cert tool here with the packaging. Now, we decided not to use this tool, but instead we purchased one that we've seen other YouTube videos use, excuse me. So what you do is you just thread the nuts are on there and make sure it's really tight on there, and then you want to center it and then squeeze the sides of it. The other thing that you need to consider is that while they do send you the tool, there are all of the nutserts in there, so you don't actually need the one that's already attached on there. So this is just an extra one that came with it, but we always like to keep parts around just in case we need anything. So I highly recommend that you keep it just like in a drawer that has all of your extra parts in it. You never know when you're going to need it, or one of your buddies might need something. So one more.
And I already bent this nutsert.
Oh no. Well, maybe we don't recommend this one. Now when it comes to putting this part on right here, whenever you are looking the contents of the box, it comes in this really big box right here. What we found for us personally, and this isn't always going to be the case, however, for us it worked out. So the way this is packaged is that you've got the steps there on the bottom, and then on top of it is going to actually be the body armor itself. So we found that the body armor that we took off for each side had the corresponding step to go along with it. So if you took it off of this side, which for us ended up being the passenger side, then the step that was on this side corresponded with the side that we installed. Now this may not be the case for you, it could be different for everybody else. So if you are in that position where you're not entirely sure, what we did is we looked at, for our JKU, it has 3 of the body mounts bolts on it. So we looked to see which of the 2 body mounts were actually closest to one another. So you'll see on here on the bottom that there is a spot for each body mount. And so if you're looking at it and you're not sure which side it needs to go on, then look at it to see where the body mounts are closest, and that should help you to determine which side your step needs to go on. So now this step doesn't look like it's very big. I've already tried stepping into it on the driver's side, or the passenger side, excuse me. So I've already stepped onto it on the passenger side. I was able to get into it. I'm 5'2". It's kind of hard for me to get into a Jeep that's lifted. But this step actually worked out really well, and it was one of our biggest concerns. So we've already tested that out. It worked out really nicely. Make sure you leave these bolts right here loosened before you tighten anything down. Similar with the body mounts that you've got here, that's what the instructions tell you, is don't tighten these all the way down. You want to make sure that these are still a little bit loose. And then what you'll do is you'll go back to the top, and you want to make sure there's not a gap between the armor and the step. And so you'll want to make sure you have somebody that can push against this while they're having this tightened down, so you can try to remove that gap as much as possible. And then you'll want to tighten down all the rest of these, and then afterwards you'll want to tighten down this, and then that should be the end of the install for this right here. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now, you guys, and you can see kind of where we go from there.